Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm taking a look at the Doctor Who The Scream of the Shalka. First of all, I will be going through the packaging. Here we have the 1996 TV movie Doctor Who logo that was also used in the John Pertwee era. We have Scream of the Shalka there, sort of just this plain white font of sorts. You have the roundels from most of the Doctor's sort of tenure, not all but most. The new BBC logo, you have a very nice image with the companion, I've just forgotten her name, the Doctor, the Master, and the Shalka and the TARDIS in the middle. PG there, DVD video thing, starring Richard E. Grant, yes, as the Doctor, and a picture of him there. Pretty much similar sort of information on the spine, BBC, PG, Scream of the Shalka. Another image of him there, Doctor Who. And then on the back we have a row of screenshots of the Master, some of the military people, a nice shot of the interior of the TARDIS, and a shot of the Scream of the Shalka Doctor. We have a synopsis on the story, we have the special features there, and on the inside we have the DVD sort of writer's notes, even booklet thing, and we have the DVD there as well. So on to the story itself. What did I think of this one? I think that Scream of the Shalka is very good. Now, first of all, I will go through the negatives because there are very few to go through even. With this, I would say one of the negatives is the title sequence are a bit skew with and a bit like out there, a bit different, and obviously, as you can tell, for me at least, not the good kind of different. Yeah, so I don't particularly like that. I don't particularly like the ending either to the whole story. It is 6 episodes long, which I didn't know, but yeah, I don't like the ending at all. It sort of drags on a bit too long. It feels sort of like the length of the ending feels way too long. It feels too sort of like long and stretched out and not refined enough and not edited down enough, and it feels like they did that for the sake of just saying because we can, because they don't have those same sort of restrictions as a TV show, but they sometimes at times should do, even if they are doing an animated thing slash webisode like this. Yeah, which was done in 2003, or well, in 2002, and it was released in 2003. The Doctor being played by Richard E. Grant. What did I think of Richard E. Grant as the Doctor? I think at first he's sort of aggressive and, well, not even so much aggressive, but abrasive and jagged around the edges, and I think he plays that well, but I don't know, the beginning, it seems old hat. It feels very been there, done that, with, It feels like the beginning of sort of like Genesis, like he's somewhere that he didn't want to be, and it's pretty much surmised anyway. As an audience member, I surmised that it was the Time Lord sending him there. We don't actually get a clear indication. He never says, oh, and the Time Lords have sent me here. I don't think anyway. And yeah, so in that sense, it is very old hat and very samey, but the way Richard E. Grant plays that is very different and unique. And yeah, he sort of mellows down and becomes more like the Doctor later on, but even then, I just feel like he sort of, I don't know, at times, the way he's animated like this can make him kind of feel like he's out of place, like when he kisses Alison's forehead, and that, like, he still looks somewhat, like, dark and ethereal and sort of somber and that. The Master's in there mainly because behind the scenes they needed something from the past, as this is, or this was done on the 40th anniversary, 40th anniversary of Doctor Who, and this was a way to show that there was something there to celebrate it, and this could have been the last thing then, but yeah, that's one of the reasons why they have the Master. Was he needed? In my opinion, not really. Was he well used? For the time that he was there, yes, but the way the Master was done in this isn't your typical Master, and you'll know what I mean if you've watched this. If you haven't, I won't spoil it, but yeah, he just, it leaves more questions open, or makes us, question more things than answers things about the Master, which in that sense was kind of annoying and a bit of a foolish thing for them to do. The Shalka themselves are just phenomenal adversaries and against the Doctor. They are formidable, they oppose this dominant threat, you know, and there's this worldwide sort of threat to this story, you know, which, considering the budget and the limitations of the animation, which is done on Flash, they portray that very well. Fun fact, the Master there, as you can see, is actually the same person in Utopia. Yes, it's Derek Jacobi, even. And also there's a little cameo from David Tennant in here, which I didn't even notice the first time I watched this story. Yeah, it's kind of that minor. Even though there's not a lot of action, it feels so dramatic and very fast-paced, and I think there's a lot of actions and a lot of volume and depth to the words and the dialogue that the Doctor or Alice or the Master say in this that portrays such, such sort of vigor and such sort of, meaning to them, it never feels like they're just just doing it, because they have to. It feels like all of the actors have put 110% effort behind what they're saying and doing and that. Animation for the time, for 2003, is up there, really, really good. Flash animation for what they had back then. Alison is sort of alright, she is good, she serves her purpose, she's not the most fleshed out companion, but she doesn't have to be. She feels very, she doesn't do much, but the way the Doctor talks about her in a way where she's sort of more than what she thinks she is, sort of thing. And yeah, the Richard E. Grant is really good. He really gets into his stride later on in the story, and he becomes more like the Doctor, and I think that's where I like him more. I do like him also at the beginning. I mean, episode 1 is flawless. They show you the sort of where we are, where this story's set. You get introduced to Alison, you get introduced to her boyfriend Joe, who's a complete douche, but you get introduced to these characters. There's not too much baggage there, but there's still enough to make you feel like the fleshed out characters. There is a bit of an action thing happens in that one. The cliffhanger is absolutely phenomenal for part 1, and the conclusion to that is also fantastic. It doesn't feel like a letdown like some other classic series episodes. The cliffhanger was really good, but then the resolution was a bit like, well, that was a bit stupid. That was a bit, out of nowhere. I don't particularly like his costume that much, but I think it kind of rubs me the wrong way at times, but I think I can fully get used to it, or try and, get used to it. But I think, as I say, I think sometimes when he is supposed to be more emotional, or more sort of happy, or affectionate to a character like Alison, Richard E. Grant's animation, at least, doesn't reflect that, which I think's sort of obviously a thing of that time, but that's just a criticism and a thing that I kind of picked up on, but that's just me. Joe is Alison's boyfriend is a very one-dimensional kind of character. He doesn't feel that fleshed out or anything, but he doesn't need to be. There is a bit of dialogue and a bit of stuff between them, obviously, but I feel like the Doctor empathises with them way too easily, and the way that he looks and the way that, his face is a lot of the time, I would feel, it would make more sense that he wouldn't understand it than he does, but yeah, that's just me. What else? Yeah, just the ending and the title sequence are major gripes. I would easily give this a well-earned 9 out of 10. I've watched it twice of this recording, and I absolutely loved it. Even this old woman in episode 1, who isn't even that big of a sort of character in the overall story, feels sort of fleshed out. There's meaning to her words. Everyone has sort of this sort of purpose and this sort of drive, they feel like they have a purpose and a meaning, and they don't just feel like one-dimensional characters. Why are you here? in this bar? Oh, because I work here, or, you know, oh, because this is what my role is, kind of thing, you know. There's sort of meaning to it. Why is everyone being, you know, so quiet here? Why is no one actually on the streets? And you find that out, and it's quite interesting, and it's a very good story. It's just a shame it's not canon. Yeah, 9 out of 10 easily. Definitely up there with, say, Five Doctors, Sea Devils, Remembrance of the Daleks, a lot of other good, brilliant classic series Doctor Who episodes. Scream of the Shalka, a must-have for any big Doctor Who fan, or Doctor Who fan and animation-like fan. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate, and subscribe.